Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Robertson bringing you a quick update video of our Spring 2018. Unfortunately, as most of you are already aware of by now, the Space Engineers Into the Unknown series is currently on a temporary hiatus, at least until Keen Software House gets around to fixing the creature AI bug that was introduced in patch 1.861. At the moment, the AI is still not attacking anything, and they just stand around doing nothing, or in the case of the Cyberoids, they're just coming out of the ground and digging back down again repeatedly. One of the community did try to fix this with a mod called the Useless Wolves and Spiders AI fix, but sadly all that seems to do, as you can see from this clip I'm currently playing right now, is make the creatures fight each other more often than the actual player. While this is a step in the right direction, it's just not quite there yet and doesn't really work well when we're trying to make it work with the storyline we have. Now, the thing is that John and I have already recorded episode 7 back in February, but it features the AI bug and we've had to change the storyline slightly in order to accommodate it. We were hoping that by now Keen would have fixed the AI bug so that we could have just reshot that part of the episode, but sadly it looks as though we'll just have to leave it as it is and hope the explanation as to why I'm not being attacked sounds reasonably plausible. At the moment, episode 7 is still sitting in my folder ready to be edited, but I probably won't touch it until we've recorded a few more episodes, just so that everything flows a little better in the long term. Ultimately, I'm hoping that Keen releases a fix for these bugs within the next few months, as we've got some modded AI creatures that feature in our story quite heavily, especially in the next few episodes. But given the lack of Space Engineers updates from Keen recently, plus the Q&A session where Marek admitted that they're essentially going to be abandoning the game, which actually is very similar to what they did with Minor Wars 2081, it means that I'm not holding out much hope that any of these bugs are going to be fixed anytime soon, if at all. As you can imagine, all these issues with the game have been quite frustrating for both John and myself. In fact, John's pretty much sick and tired of both Keen and Space Engineers, and dare I say it, this is one of the main reasons why Season 3 of Into the Unknown will be the last one we ever do, as we ourselves will be looking to move on from this game as quickly as possible, especially as there are now other games on the horizon which look as though they will, in time, surpass Space Engineers, especially in regards to the survival experience. The main ones that I'm personally keeping an eye on right now, apart from Empyrean Galactic Survival that is, are Sky Wanderers and Dual Universe. But saying that, even if Empyrean had the same modding support and ship complexity of Space Engineers, people would migrate to it in droves, because as it stands, the only thing that's keeping Space Engineers alive right now is the incredible support it's getting from both the modding community and the content creators. Once they start leaving the game, I can guarantee it will pretty much fade into obscurity. Anyway, on a brighter note, regarding some of the other games I play, Bohemia Interactive have recently released their Tanks DLC for Arma 3, which not only adds a few new armoured vehicles to each of the three factions, but it now includes fully modelled and animated interiors for all the tanks in-game, including the driver, gunner and commander seats. It also adds a couple more armoured variants of the off-road vehicles, including the four-wheel drive Jeep that came with the Apex expansion, and it also adds a top-down attack flight mode for the anti-tank guided missiles, which is something that's already implemented in VBS 3 and is a welcome addition to the Arma series. Far Cry 5 has been released earlier this month, and while it does look very good indeed, I'm actually going to hold off on purchasing it until it comes down a little in price. While I'm more than happy to part with about £30 or even £40 for a AAA title, I draw the line at £50, especially for a digital copy. In other words, I'm not spending a ridiculous sum of money on a game that doesn't even come with a box, DVD, map and a 50-page manual. At least with those included, it would soften the blow. For the Americans among you, £50 sterling is now the equivalent of around $70 US or 90 Canadian. And while I'm certainly no skinflint by any stretch, and I'm sure the game is amazing, I feel that asking such an overinflated price on Steam for what is essentially a downloaded copy of a computer game is quite simply taking the piss. So yeah, just like with Ark, I'll be waiting until it's in one of the Steam sales before I even think of spending my hard-earned cash on that one. Now, as most of you have already seen, I've also been playing the medieval role-playing game Kingdom Come Deliverance. and so far I have been enjoying it immensely. More so since I've not really run into any of the game-breaking bugs that a lot of the other players out there have. In fact, the only real bug I've come across so far has been one where I was magically launched into the sky whilst trying to use an alchemy bench. But that's apparently been fixed too now in a recent patch, so it's all good. My only real issue with the game so far is the distinct lack of other people on horseback, apart from the scripted events of course, and also the inability to use polearms. Right now we can use swords, hammers, maces, axes and shields for close combat and bows for ranged. There is no crossbows, and it appears as though only the guards and a few select NPCs can use polearms. But I'm guessing that this is something that they'll add either in a patch or in future DLC.
Tell me, you bald-headed twat! Tell me what you've done with it!
Well, that essentially covers it on the gaming side, but I've also been busy working on several projects, including a large VBS related one in my spare time, so there won't be too much in the way of content released in the next few months. I'm also busy updating the Sentinel Infantry pack for Arma 3, and I've also helped out Halex, or Halex depending how he pronounces it, who is the creator of the Ravage mod, by giving him a small snippet of code that lets players use third-party grenades and throwables along with the red flares that come with the mod, which hopefully should improve the experience for all those looking to use Ravage alongside mods such as the Red Hammer Studios ones. The next channel update should be the one for summer 2018, so don't forget that there will be another Q&A segment at the end of that one, so if you've got any questions for me, then please feel free to leave them in the comments section below, or send me an instant message, and as always I'll choose the best ones from among them and answer them in the next update video. Well, that's pretty much all for this evening, so once again, thank you very much for watching. You folks have been incredible, and I can't thank you enough for all the support you've shown over the years. And, as I said in my last video, here's hoping Keen fix those AI issues relatively soon, so John and I can carry on with our Space Engineer series without having to do a major rewrite. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you all again soon, and as always, this is Robertson, signing off.